Here's what that brings up in my mind. We're approaching on the podcast 300 conversations with B2B C-suite executives. Not one of them has ever disagreed with this statement. We're in a relationship-based business. And as much as AI and content and Zoom calls and different things like that can help build relationships and communicate meaningful, impactful value, what you're talking about is we believe ultimately in the people that we want to do work with. Instead of making another monologue, I just was talking to a chief customer officer that was on the podcast, and he relayed to me that his direct ICP was a CISO, and that CISO had just concluded a buying phase they had added to their tech stack. And he said, I got 14 different companies that came in. They all answered the RFP. They all checked every single box in our RFP. He says, here's the one thing that I wanted to know. What's it going to be like to work with you after I hire you? You just started talking about service. And that's what I'm taking away is that you're out there saying there's real people behind Teslio, and we're going to be there for you, and we're going to build that relationship.
I think that's the thing that is the differentiator. Well, actually, it's not, right? First of all, you've got to be so fluent in your subject matter that beyond the initial AI research the customer and their team have done, you've got to be able to lead the conversation to a successful landing. But that is just the start. And most customers are changing the way they buy now to, everyone talks about land and expand, but it's really, okay, let me put a toe in the water. I mean, you may say you're great. My friend may have had a great experience with you, but I really want to test this thing out. I want to date a couple of times before anything happens here. If the sales motion isn't aligned to the success motion, if you have an intermediary that's some sort of implementation team as well, if that flow isn't totally perfectly orchestrated, and if the customer isn't getting value from the product within a very short period of time, you're not going to get the expansion, and you're definitely not going to get the result that you want. I think that it is that just the whole world has evolved to pretty much a land and expand experience now. Customers are putting a toe in the water with that first purchase. There's normally a follow-on order that's 60 to 90 days down, but that first engagement is really just the license to go and develop the business with the partners. We're very keen to make sure that the salesperson is involved in each of those different steps all the way along. They're monitoring the conversation. They understand the success criteria really closely. They're fully aligned with the team that's going to be doing the implementation and that customer touch. And yeah, that's how it works.